Hello and welcome to LA1, the weekly discussion show here on LA1 TV at Lancaster University. Today I've got Johnny and Tom again, both back with me. First time with two guests, so well, not guests, I guess you regular presenters now on the show. But yeah, like I say, every week we'll be bringing you some more niche, as well as some topical news from last week or so. So let's get straight into things. This week, to start off, guys, we're going to do a little section from another well-known television series called "If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question?" So the first answer you guys have got is £44,068. Not pounds as in money, not as in weight. You guys got any idea what that could be?
Had a good one then, but
no. I mean, is the idea we make joking answers as well, or are we going for the actual?
Well, it's up to you. Depends how popular you want to be. Yeah. Did you say it was monetary or?
Monetary. Yeah.
Monetary.
How much Johnny's worth as a footballer?
I think it's a little less than that.
That's quite. I'll take that.
I'd say £44. Actually, no, 44 pence, more like than £44,000. But any ideas, Johnny?
Well, I think that was a bit harsh. 44,000. Is it the amount of days before you score a goal for Balerig FC?
No, it's not.
Is
it's
it now?
pounds.
Oh, of course it is. What? All right. Okay. Is that the amount of money if we were paying £1 per day for every goal time you did not score a goal for Balerig FC? Is that how rich the person would be?
Is it something to do with average annual wage of some profession?
No. It's actually the amount that a Pokemon card was sold for at an auction last week. It's in Beverly Hills, California. It was sold for $54,970.
Wow.
Someone needs to get alive.
No, it's well, when you think of it, it's, you know, we had this whole thing when the £5 notes came out where they were selling them for hundreds and thousands of pounds on eBay because they had AA written on them or AK-47 or they had some weird
I am an idiot
printing issue. Yeah. They had some weird printing issue on there. And yeah, this is one of those rare cards which there was only, they believe, between 10 and 30 ever made. 20 and 39 were ever made, and 10 of them in the world are in sort of good enough condition to sell. So £44,068. Yeah, because they were from like an illustration competition from 1998. So very rare.
Wow.
Very stupid. So what could you get with 44,000?
Pay off your student degree.
Yeah. You buy a
Pokemon card.
No. I mean, the tank last week was better than the Pokemon card.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And you know what I thought about the tank?
Have you guys
nice reference to last week.
Yeah.
Everyone check out that show.
Yeah.
Do that. Have you guys ever like collected anything like stamps or
trading cards? I used to do match attacks.
Match attacks. And everyone did match attacks.
And I used to do Doctor Who cards back in the day.
Yeah, Doctor Who cards.
that was quite a cool thing.
But
then you think back and you think, God, I was an idiot. I mean, all the money you spend.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards was the one for me.
Oh, no.
I did Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
No, I never did Yu-Gi-Oh. I thought it was no.
They were really expensive as well.
They weren't 44,000. No.
True. I mean, if you got enough of them, they were.
But, yeah.
I did football stickers as well, like similar to match attacks.
Was it
Panini or something?
Yeah, it was like
Panini.
Yeah,
I never
and like Merlin's album, but I used to have them for quite a few seasons for them. I used to fill them up.
There was always one though, wasn't there? You never get one.
Yeah,
and you'd be spending it for ages.
That's why
pack after pack after pack after pack.
That's why you had to go to the swap shops.
Shops.
You know, swap with other people, and I did actually completely fill one book.
You filled a book.
Yeah.
But you'd always go into the shop and you'd be like, right, I want some football stickers or football cards.
Yeah.
And you'd go in. And then you'd be like, right, I might as well get a few packs.
Yeah.
But they're so expensive these days. Like, when I was working in the shop, it was like, Pokemon cards are like £4 for like 10 cards.
It's ridiculous.
It's crazy money.
I remember it used to be about 35p for a football sticker pack.
They were cheaper than the match attacks, weren't they? Certainly.
Match attacks are still about £1, I think, but it's still expensive.
Still expensive.
For what they are.
I mean, it's same with if anyone has an Xbox or a PS4, the Ultimate Team card. So that is ridiculous. Money gets drained that way.
Very expensive.
And I can admit to being using it quite a lot back in the day.
But would you rather have kids buying Pokemon cards for that much money, or buying sweets and chocolate for that much money?
Sweets and chocolate, yeah.
Sweets and chocolate.
Yeah, because at least that's a. No, maybe not actually. Depends what sweets and chocolate it was. If they were buying them and then they were saying, "Oh, do you want? We can share it with you," then yeah, sound. But if they're buying them for themselves and they're getting fat, then no.
Yeah. it's like the Pokemon cards though. They've kind of become what stamps and coins used to be in terms of.
Yeah, it's the modern day equivalent, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's any harm in collecting something like that.
Yeah.
It's quite nice to have a good collection of something. You're quite proud of it, and I think it is better than sweets and chocolate, obviously, because it doesn't have the
thinking
health
about
issues.
it does. Yeah, thinking about it does.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose on the bright side, if you got enough of a collection together in 30 years, you sell them for 10 times the amount, don't you?
For a fair bit of money, yeah.
Wheel a deal, as our little children.
Like match programs, about $5 each, but you collect enough of them and they're worth a bit more. So
they are. They are.
Anyway, next one. Answer is 12.
12.
12.
I'll let you go first.
Oh, I'll give you a bit more of a thing. 12 years old is the answer.
12 years old.
Oh, could it be like something like the first? How old the youngest professional footballer is, or something like that?
What?
No, I'm just thinking of the kid that plays for, is it Celtic? Dembele, who's like really young but like amazing, and he plays for like he's
18, Tom.
No, he's not.
Dembele is.
I
know who you're on about. I know who you're on about.
No, do you mean Musa Dembele?
What?
Or do you mean the other Dembele? Because I think there's another Dembele.
No, I mean the really young one.
There's another one.
Yeah.
There must be, because I saw it the other day. I was like, I thought there's one Dembele at Celtic. It must be two. But yeah, it's not Wage is the youngest professional footballer.
Right.
Any ideas?
Is it the mental age of Donald Trump?
No, it's not the mental age of Donald Trump. The answer is, how old was a boy who inherited a 6,000-acre estate this week? 6,000 acres.
Well, an acre itself is huge, isn't it? So 6,000 is pretty big.
Is an acre a kilometre by a kilometre?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Some kind of.
I know it's big.
It's big.
It's big.
But yeah, 6,000 acre. 12-year-old Albert Charger Elliott.
Oh, it had to be an Albert, didn't it?
It had to be
an Albert.
He's inherited this estate. His grandfather passed away, and his dad had already passed away, so he's inherited it.
Oh, that's sad though. That's a sad story.
Yeah.
I feel a bit bad now.
There's been a lot of jobs at risk as well, because obviously he's not in charge of it until he's old enough to take charge. So a company's taken charge of it, but they've reportedly given out some redundancy notices to people who've worked there for a long time.
That's a shame.
Several of them have worked there some of them have worked there for up to 36 years. So
companies ruining people's lives. I've said this on every show. It's just
every
shame.
Every show.
It's a big shame.
Spread the socialist message.
Yeah.
Well,
Jeremy would be proud.
Yeah. Well, the regional officer for Unite, who is like a estate kind of company, he said, "What we have here is a sorry tale of feudalism alive and well in Cornwall, as New Year 2017 is just 6 weeks away." Feudalism, it's one of those things where, you look at our country's history, and then, you look at what happened in the last week as well, or two, with the announcement that there's going to be a £369 million renovation of Buckingham Palace. Meanwhile, there's people, homeless, unemployed. Is it good that we have people who are still have so much money at the top of the top and don't really do very much?
Of course not. I mean, money should be redistributed more evenly. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, it's ridiculous when. I mean, you can even take examples of like footballers. Like they don't deserve that much money. When a nurse or someone, a teacher who's probably their wages are getting cut, are getting how much less. It's not. It isn't fair, really.
The only argument you could make is if you work hard to get that money, surely you should be allowed to spend it how and in what way you want.
But maybe people should think about like society in general. If you are in that position with that much money, why is it so bad for them to help give that money to charity to more people? Like it makes me really upset and sick when the people who can afford it avoid to pay taxes, when generally the taxes help fund the public services that we need to help the people that need that support.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
Yeah. It's happened a couple of times though. I mean, there's been a few YouTubers and stuff who make a lot of money from doing YouTube videos, and fair enough, it is an art and it's a skill in itself, and it takes a lot of time. But I mean, there's been quite a few like YouTubers recently who've been doing sort of charity appeals, and you think surely they have enough money themselves because all the money they donate is raised from their viewers. And I mean, it's a good cause and everything, but surely they themselves should be putting some into the.
I don't like YouTubers; they're all ego people. But you know, certainly.
Says the one on TV.
Says the one on TV. My ego knows where it is. I've not got an ego. Anyway, no, I just think. I completely agree with what you said. I think they make lots of money. They seem to make big news if they do anything charitable. But they can afford to do it. I mean,
it's still good that they're still trying to generate even more money, but you'd hope that they would give a lot of money themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Next one is the answer is 2020. Now this one's quite a big one, so if you've been kind of vaguely following the news, you probably know what it is, but you might not associate it with this with this year. It's a year, by the way, 2020. So
yes, we are aware. Yes.
I mean,
it's not 2020 vision or anything like that. Just to clarify.
Is it political?
Vaguely political.
Oh, is it when Kanye announces that he's president of the United States?
No, it's not.
No, damn.
Although that
could happen. That would fit the bill, and we believe he's still very keen. So
Kanye Trump.
I mean,
next presidential race.
It would be interesting, wouldn't it? I'd have my vote for Kanye. Yeah.
Why not?
He could.
Get much worse.
He'd rap his presidential speech, and we'd love it.
I'm not sure if you'd want. I don't think you'd want either of them. Let's be honest.
Well, he's passionate, isn't he? Passionate.
Donald Trump's passionate.
Donald Trump's passionate. Yeah, I mean, we can't get any worse, can we? So,
anyway,
bring on Kanye.
2020, back to 2020. Any ideas? No.
I always want to go down the sporting route. Is it anything to do with sports?
No, it's nothing to do with sport. It's the fact that in the past week, France has passed a new law to ensure that all plastic cups, cutlery and plates can be composted and are made of biologically sourced materials. It comes into effect in 2020. It's part of the Energy Transition for Green Growth, which is an ambitious plan that aims to allow France to make a more effective contribution to tackling climate change.
That was a mouthful, wasn't it?
Yeah, very big one. Interesting, though, that this comes in the same week where Donald Trump has said that climate change is scientific propaganda and wants to ban all research into it.
Gotta love Donald.
But, yeah, so this, they want to make sure that all plastic cups and cutlery and stuff is recyclable, decompostable, etc. Thoughts? Good, bad?
Very good.
Good
obviously.
idea.
Yeah. I mean, anything that's going to help, energy saving, environmentally friendly, help the planet, it's got to be a good thing.
Yeah.
It's got to be a good thing.
Agree.
Yeah.
There
have been some counter arguments though, which is quite surprising considering the nature of it. But while ecologists on the whole are in favour of it, some have argued that it could violate European Union rules on free movement of goods. And there's also been some complaints from Mr. Bates, who is the...
Someone from Downton Abbey, that is.
Mr. Bates, he is the
I was thinking someone else. But
he's the Secretary General of Pack2Go Europe, which is one of the biggest sort of packaging companies in Europe. It's based in Brussels. He told the Associated Press, "We are urging the European Commission to do the right thing and to take legal action against France for infringing European law. If they don't, we will." His argument is that people will see this as, okay, all plastic is now biodegradable, let's leave it on the floor, and it could be a bigger problem than it is at the moment. Do you think that could be a potential scenario if people think this waste is compostable, let's just leave it around and it'll go away?
I see the
argument.
The argument there, the logic behind that. I mean, obviously you'd hope that people wouldn't do that, but you never know. It's a tough one because, but I think you could argue anything like beneficial. You can turn it around and say, oh, there's arguments against this if you're going to find something. So I'm not sure if I would completely support.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Next one. Answer is less than a year.
My rise to fame.
For what would that be for?
What would it not be for? Would be the correct answer.
Johnny for next US president. Johnny for general election. Anyway, less than a year. Any ideas what this one could be? This one is vaguely political, has political ties, but
so it could be me.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be me.
Is this something like that's predicted to take like it will be in less than a year? Something will happen.
Yeah. I don't say Brexit because it probably won't happen in the next year.
Take your time, Tom.
What? You can
Any
have a
ideas?
go.
Oh,
Johnny.
I've had my go.
Do you want to go for it? If you seriously,
I was being.
it's to do with the European Union,
Oh.
but it's not Brexit.
No.
And new trade agreements.
No, it's actually how long until an EU army is up and running.
Oh.
So it's been narrowly passed the vote in the. It's narrowly passed the vote in the EU Parliament, and its defence for the EU, this new defence force, will be able to override NATO, which, as you're probably aware, is one of the biggest military alliances or organisations on the planet. They want to have military forces supplied from every member state, and that would include Britain because it's going to come into place before Brexit occurs. Thoughts on that in terms of what's going on in the Middle East, what's going on with Russia, America, potentially some conflicts arising which could get a bit more serious soon.
I mean, it's tough.
Scary times.
Yeah, it's very tough. I don't know. I suppose it was heading that way, getting an EU force. Whether Britain's involvement, that should be.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting. I mean, if we are actually, not that I certainly don't support it, but if we are actually going to leave the EU, it seems
strange
to have British troops in the force. But I think anything to protect, general liberties and stuff is always a good thing. But obviously I don't like the idea of everything turning militarized and
and then of course this comes just a couple of weeks after Remembrance Day, so
it's not the best timing, is it? Obviously it's a big superpower of some kind though, isn't it? Then it's a force to be reckoned with, but at the same time, then if 1 or 2 or 3 countries want to go to some kind of war, then you're bringing the entire of them, and that could cause some conflicts there. If other countries don't want to go.
Well, EU bureaucrats have guaranteed that £420 million a year is going to be invested into this. And it's going to be a rapid response team, is what they're calling it, to tackle threats in Europe. So we'll have to see what happens.
So would it tackle inward threats between?
From outside of Europe.
From outside. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think there are going to be many internal conflicts.
No, but like if there's a certain issue, I don't know, like they might act as a sort of police force of Europe. I don't know.
Yeah, quite possibly. Next one. Answer is free, as in you don't pay anything.
Oh, I thought you meant as in 3. I can never tell. No. I can never tell. Free. What is free?
There's going to be. They're going to offer solar panels to everyone for free.
For free.
Oh.
They're going to offer out-of-date food.
Nope.
To the homeless.
Nope.
For free. That was a terrible answer. I was thinking of something funny, but I couldn't think.
I'll give you a little hint. So, last week's episode, Tom said that he was scared of flying, and that he would like to sit at the front of the plane. So it's to do with flying.
Free parachutes if you want to leave.
No. Free parachutes.
Mid-flight, you're just like, I've had enough.
Free as in you don't pay for enough. Free as in it's just 3. You got to scramble for the parachute.
3 as in you scramble for the parachute.
Wow.
Go on. I'm a bit stoked for this one.
Yeah. Like certain. Imagine you could have free travel in between UK destinations.
That's not. That would be
it's
great.
Bigger than that. It's that Ryanair plans within the next decade to make some flights completely free.
Wow. You wouldn't expect that from Ryanair, would you?
Well, yeah. Many seats on Ryanair flights could be free in a decade's time. The airline's chief executive, Michael O'Leary, has said.
Wow.
His ambition is to offer 0 fares, with the airline making its money from sharing revenues with the airports where the passengers have travelled through. So basically, if you go into a shop and you're buying food in the restaurants and going to the shops and going to Costa and Starbucks or whatever.
If you go into Costa, you won't be able to afford your plane ticket. But
yeah, the hope is that they can sort of form partnerships with airports who will then in turn subsidise the cost of the flight. And considering that the average fare of Ryanair last year is just £39, including a bag, and they're set to fall by a further 10 to 15% this year, that takes it down to what, £30. So getting to that point now where Ryanair can really start thinking about making this a reality.
It's the word plan, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's an ambitious one to be able to do that.
Definitely.
Will they do it? I'm not sure. Doesn't make much profitable sense, does it? Although it would sort of maybe get people to spend elsewhere, where they wouldn't usually do.
No, profitability would be fine because they'd still receive money. Ryanair. And the thing with Ryanair is obviously that they are low cost anyway.
Yeah.
And a quarter of their income is from add-ons such as car hire and in-flight sales.
Would that reduce the quality of the service though, making it free? Because obviously they've already got a reputation of not having the best quality service, I believe.
Think from what I've gathered is that it's going to be the same, just free.
Okay.
Because they're just subsidising it with other things.
I'm with Tom, though. I think that if it became free, then there might be an incentive. Well, not an incentive, but less of an incentive to keep up the
quality.
And maybe drop the standards somewhat. Then you're on EasyJet level.
But I wonder if if it is free, I'm not sure how it's going to work in terms of destinations. If it's going to be short haul, long haul. Whether it's
presume it would be short haul, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you can't imagine free flights to America, can you?
That
would
I don't think Ryanair deal with very long haul flights. They're mainly based in Europe, I think.
Yeah,
okay.
But I mean, in terms of if flights are free, whether they increase the number of flights because they want more, they'll be attracting more customers, because ultimately, like with the France thing, it comes down to climate change. And if we have these mass flights that are free from London to Scotland, and people think, oh, it's free, I might as well do that, I'm not going to get on the train, it's only half an hour on the plane, then the issue arises that people take advantage of it. So maybe it will be a case of, okay, you can only fly from London to Turkey or London to Italy or London or something
certain
like that.
flights.
Yeah.
Probably bad times as well, aren't they?
If
like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Something like that.
If they don't increase the amount of flights, I suppose it's a good thing. But if they dramatically increase the amount of flights, then the environmental issues are bad.
Yeah, well, the Irish airline expects to carry 190 million passengers this year, and it's growing its aircraft fleet rapidly, with capacity to pass 200 million passengers by 2024. So if that's their predictions, and they're expecting within the next 10 years to give free flights, then I'd expect that there'll be quite a few free flights going. So if you've got too much of your student debt and you want to have a nice little trip, get on a Ryanair flight.
Yeah, but if it's, I can imagine this now being a terrible flight time in a country that no one wants to go to.
I don't know, because if it's a country no one wants to go to, then the airport that they're flying to isn't going to have to subsidise the cost of the flight. So
yeah, but then if someone says you've got a free holiday, you don't like the time or the place you're going, but it's free, then you'll get lots of people flocking going. So
I'd imagine it would be mostly major airports, with a couple of growing airports, maybe some smaller Spanish ones, maybe, or smaller Italian ones.
I mean, if it was like 3:30 to Luton.
Yeah, but you wouldn't.
Just to Luton.
You wouldn't fly to Luton.
No, you wouldn't, but it wouldn't be good, would it?
Anyway, get on the train, for goodness sake.
Well,
it's not that expensive.
No.
Cough, cough. Next point, 492. You will not get this one at all.
Please, Tom, have a go first. I'm trying to think.
It's the number of something.
Is it the number of centimeters Johnny is of average height?
492.
Yeah.
That'd be
because you're that short.
No, Tom. Because
that's very tall.
That's very tall.
That's like 12 foot.
That's about 12 feet.
Didn't think this through.
No, you didn't. That was one of the worst attempted put-downs I've ever heard.
I was literally just trying to find something that I could mock your height with.
But the fact you got your measurements completely wrong has just meant you've mocked yourself.
Yes, I have mocked myself. Yeah.
It's nothing to do with height, I assure you.
Okay. Well, can I just come back at that with, is that the height of Tom? Because that would be more appropriate,
More
wouldn't
appropriate.
it? More appropriate.
It's still not true.
But still not true.
492 is the number of Morrison's stores, which will all be hiring strong men and strong women, is what they've been called, for Black Friday.
Right.
We have a picture of one of these men to put on for you guys to see.
Do we have any videos as well?
No videos this week.
Damn.
Yeah. So, yeah, Morrison's has employed dedicated fitness fanatics to carry shoppers' Black Friday purchases around the supermarkets and then to the cars.
Yeah. They called me last week about it. They said, we're looking for strong, athletic, gorgeous young men. And I said, OK then, I'll fill you in when I can.
But to be fair, they're only carrying products as heavy as 7 kilograms, so it's not exactly too strenuous.
No, it's not.
if there's a heavier product, what's the point? Like, the heaviest products are the one people's going to need most help with, so surely they should carry those. Obviously, still, up to 7 kilograms is still heavy, but yeah, I think it's a good idea, but is it really necessary? I mean, I suppose it's good, providing more jobs is always a good thing. But yeah, I'm quite surprised that like a store like Morrison's choosing to do it.
Yeah, it's interesting though because, I mean, if it was Christmas, I mean, Black Friday.
It is Christmas.
Black Friday's in preparation of Christmas, but in terms of, you'd think maybe like an actual dedicated Christmas maybe week or something where people can go and they'll carry stuff for you. Black Friday, I mean, anything over 7, like anything that you're going to want to buy on a deal is probably going to be over like a TV or something. It's, and I don't know if this is going to be beneficial for many people. I don't think. And if you've got these people swarm, it's going to make the stores twice as busy.
Yeah.
So
does it make?
I mean, they want.
Does it?
As in, it's going to make. Yeah, I see what you mean. About stores. I mean, they want more people in. Maybe as it is, obviously, an incentive to come in to buy stuff from their shop because they've got this commodity. But
they'll need the aircon working them days because.
Yeah, it'll be packed.
It will be absolutely ridiculously packed.
Yeah, packed.
Yeah. Packed.
Super packed. But yeah, like.
What?
What? But no, it just seemed. I don't know whether I'd like that.
No.
There's someone following you around carrying your stuff.
You might feel awkward. You'd be like, oh, sorry. Like when you want to stay on a certain aisle for a long time, you're, checking out the different prices of the products, and they're just waiting there, and you're a bit like, oh, sorry, and you feel rushed.
Yeah. Although that would be, not that I'm suggesting this is a good thing, but if you were a burglar, and you dressed in one of those, I am a helper suit. And they said, can you give me your bag and your wallet and your clothes? And then they never came back. I mean, that's an opportunity right there, isn't it?
They wouldn't take your wallet.
they might do to some poor gullible soul. And then there you go, I've never seen them again.
So see, this is how your mind works. You're already thinking of,
of
ways.
Exploit the system.
Yeah.
Obviously, if anyone's listening and this idea has provoked anyone to do it, please don't do it.
Yeah, disclaimer, we are sorry.
He's not responsible.
I do not want the police knocking on my flat.
Please,
thank you. But don't do it. Only on Grand Theft Auto. But you couldn't do it.
And again.
Anyway,
Move on.
Yeah.
To Christmas again.
Yay.
Yay.
It's the joyful time of year.
Well, it is, and me and Tom really do like it, but we've got Grinch in the corner. He's like, I do not like Christmas.
Can I get like a green face edited onto me? No, I'm joking.
No, I like Christmas.
I do. It's a happy time,
Yes.
for happy people.
No, it's happy time, but not in November.
That's why I said for happy people, the people who are sat on the sofa.
To be
as opposed to
fair,
the chair.
it's true. But to be fair, we're nearing December, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's the latter stages
slowly
of
getting there.
it's latter stages of November about now.
Well, me and Johnny went bowling the other day and we heard some Christmas songs. I was kind of getting in the festive spirit. So
we did.
We're slowly getting there to the point where I can accept that it's Christmas. But until the 1st of December, I still stick by the fact it's not.
On the topic of bowling, who won bowling again, was it?
That was Johnny. Yeah. Anyway, Christmas topic, Santa Cam. Several online retailers have begun selling Santa Cam devices.
Santa Cam.
This is basically, there's a lot of variations. Some of them are actual look like cameras. Some of them are like Christmas baubles you put on your tree. It looks like it's got a camera on it. It doesn't. It's basically a method of encouraging children to be good in the run up to Christmas.
Santa Cam?
Yeah.
Because you've got to be good for Santa. Come on.
Did you guys ever have anything like that in your house? Anything?
No. I mean, the technology wasn't there when we were young.
No,
you know,
it
all
wasn't.
those
It's
years
not
ago.
actually a camera. It's just a Christmas ball, but it's got a camera drawn on it.
Oh,
It's
so
the
you
actual
have to have
camera.
very
The company-
gullible
yeah.
children. It depends. I mean,
Well,
if
no.
they're
To
young
be
enough.
fair, no. I mean, children will believe anything, won't they? If you put a bribe in there.
Do you think it's right though that parents are now coming to the point where they're having to,
They're spying on the children, aren't they?
but they're having to put fake cameras on their tree to pretend that Santa's watching them, to make them act good? Is that a good way of making your children behave?
Yeah, too right.
Is it?
Yeah, it's probably cheap, so you can just set it up. It sort of carries on the essence and story of Father Christmas, or Santa as you've referred to him as.
Apparently, there's been things called Elf on the Shelf, which has happened for a while now.
The shelf. No,
The shelf.
the shelf.
No, it's just called the Elf on the Shelf.
I think they're missing out there. Blend the two words, you get elf.
You get shelf. Anyway, shelf elf. Did you guys ever have an elf on the shelf?
An elf on the shelf.
Apparently,
no.
these like little toys you put on the shelf, and they're supposed to watch the children.
Oh
What?
God!
I mean,
Oh.
did you have these?
I did not have.
No,
but what I did have.
I didn't even know about
Yeah,
them.
we just had a 3-foot dwarf to watch.
No, what I did have at my house was that my parents would say that in the kitchen and the living room we had the for like your alarm in your house. These little boxes in the corners of rooms on the like it's sort of in the corner where the ceiling is, and has like a little red flashing light, which is like a sensor, so if someone comes in and the alarm gets set off.
Oh
But
yeah.
I always told that was Santa's camera that he watched us for the whole year and decided if we was naughty or
Oh.
nice. So that was something.
Did it affect your behaviour? That.
Probably not. I'm not sure how effective these things are, but there's been a lot that have sprung up this year with these Santa cams, different variations on eBay, Etsy, Amazon, other places are selling them. So it's money, profitable, making money out of
Profitable.
Christmas, more money than
course.
needed.
Of course.
Speaking of Christmas, well, on topic of Christmas, more Christmas food has been announced this week.
Yay.
We've got TGI Fridays who have come out with a Christmas dinner sundae served in a ice cream sundae glass.
That's
we have
cool.
got a picture of this.
That's cool.
Hopefully we're going to have a picture of that on there for everyone at home to see. So yeah, this is a kind of an ongoing thing with TGI Fridays. Back in March, TGI Fridays branches in Greater Manchester introduced a sundae glass which had barbecue pulled pork, bacon and melted cheese, swirled between layers of mash and topped with jalapenos. And now TGI Fridays in Liverpool 1, which is like a big retail place, have taken on the Christmas dinner one. So it's going to have chicken, pulled chicken, not turkey, mashed potato, cranberry sauce and sage and onion stuffing topped with gravy.
Do you have a problem with that?
Yeah.
Why?
Guys, I'm officially vegan. That started yesterday.
Wait, is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know about this.
That's his radio lie ruined.
Yeah, but anyway.
True lie thing. Yeah.
So
Think
that
of
was
something
probably not for me. But
Yeah.
would you guys like to do that?
Well, it's not in the it's in the flavour of those. It's just is it a blended?
No,
Yeah.
it's like a sundae glass
Yeah.
filled with mash and meat and sauce and gravy. So it's basically a roast dinner, but in a sundae glass.
Well, I mean, I initially thought it was like going to be in the flavour of ice cream. I was like,
I
no,
was
I
also
don't.
thinking,
I
yeah.
don't like that.
But
No,
I like
no,
that
no.
idea.
It's not an ice cream.
If it's just general, I mean, it's just the presentation is the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's okay. I don't mind it. Yeah, it could be good,
I agree.
but maybe not necessary.
What do you think? It's just embellishing something?
No, I think it's good. I think I like the idea. Obviously you'd struggle at the moment with your lifestyle choice.
Even if I was having, like, I'm not a vegan. Okay, even if I wasn't a vegan, I'm saying like I've been a vegan for ages. I've not. But
It just feels like a long time. You see when you-
those cravings are already coming back. When I'm having food, and someone gives me like a glass plate to eat off, I can never feel comfortable eating off a glass plate as opposed to like a porcelain one or like a plastic plate. Just as if it doesn't feel the same when you eat a glass. I don't know what it is about it. So
Neither do I.
eating out of a glass sundae, like a sundae glass, I'm not sure whether I'd actually like that.
I think it's quite cool eating out of a glass myself. Do you not think?
I haven't really tried it.
No.
but Yeah, I hope it. As long as it's not too. annoying the noise of it, as in when you're scraping. Because
Yeah.
I have a thing, I really don't like scraping
I
cutlery.
don't like scraping. Agreed.
It really
100%.
makes me shiver.
Well, that's one of the points I don't like about it, because you can just like ching ching ching, like, you can just hear the noise of it like when you cut stuff.
I hate that. I hate that.
You hate the ching ching ching.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my new line.
That's going
another
on the
one,
radio.
another Christmas thing that's come out, food-wise, from another restaurant. McDonald's have announced there's going to be a chocolate orange McFlurry.
Oh, joy.
Oh, I think
yeah.
that sounds really good.
It does
It
sound
sounds
good.
really good when you're not a vegan. With all the ice cream and chocolate in
Well,
there.
I'm sure.
We're just gonna eat it in front of you.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure there's
make
a.
you,
I'm sure there's an
jealous.
alternative. You can sit there with your salad bowl and your dry water,
Yeah.
and we can eat those things. It does sound good though, doesn't it?
I want to say I'm not against veganism.
Oh, I'm not. I just think it's a.
Even
yeah,
if we
I'm not
are
gonna
dissing it.
Yeah, we're not.
No,
it's,
we're
it's
not.
only in good
Yeah.
taste.
I mean, I think
Good taste of meat.
Anyone's choice is fine with me, but personally, I don't think I could.
Oh,
be a vegan.
I couldn't. No, I mean, respect is
Yeah.
immense if he lasts as long as he says he'll last, which is a month.
I'm sure
Although currently I think he feels like it's been a month, despite it only
So
being
do you
a
think
day.
do you think after a month? So the idea is after a month you're going to stop. You're not going to continue it.
The idea is that after a month, I'm gonna it's like a little trial, right?
Okay.
If at the end of the month,
It's like your 30-day free trial from Amazon, yeah?
yeah.
30-day free trial from vegan. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so end of the trial, I'm just gonna be like, do I feel comfortable? Do I still feel healthy?
Yeah.
If I do, I might stick with it. But the hope is that I'll get to the end. I'll want to carry on, but I don't want to cause a big fuss on Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
So I'm probably just gonna have a Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
And then just
You can't turn down pigs in blankets. That's
No.
that's the number one thing.
See, I really like pigs and blankets, but we never really have them.
You
for
never
some
have
reason.
them. What is
Like,
going on?
I know.
Tom?
I don't want. Don't get me wrong. I've had them before. I do like them, but for some reason it's just not a normal. I'm gonna insist on my mum this year.
Four-bird
Right.
roast is a good one if you're not a vegetarian.
Four-bird roast,
Delicious
yeah.
chicken, duck, turkey, and
All together?
something else. Yeah.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
like
Wow.
a nice stuffing and.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow,
My
that
argument for
sounds
Christmas
good.
dinner is that while I'm at uni, I'm cooking for myself, so I can kind of get away with being a vegan. When I go back home for Christmas dinner,
Yeah.
that's it then.
Yeah.
Someone else is cooking it for me.
Yeah.
It's already being made.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. I'm eating it.
Yeah.
Shout out to a housemate of mine who's a vegan.
Okay. And a
out.
few of mine who are also vegans.
Yeah. Well, along with this chocolate orange McFlurry, McDonald's is going to be bringing out a festive cheese feast, a spicy chicken winter melt, cheese melt dippers, and a chocolatey banoffee pie.
Mm.
However, the festive pie, which was out last year and everyone seemed to love and just be going to all the time to get, has seemingly been removed from the menu. So some people have been a bit upset on Twitter.
Not very festive.
No,
No.
festive pie.
I do find
don't
that
see
with
how it-
McDonald's, when they do these products and they're like, oh, here is this luxurious
Yeah, yeah.
chocolate orange thing. Well, they put it out and they'll zoom it in and they'll do lots of sexy shots of the
Yeah.
image. And then when you get it, it's about 2 centimetres big as the cup or
That's called
something.
advertising, Johnny.
I'm aware, but McDonald's have a particular way of doing it. And then you
Yeah.
go in. I mean, it's
like
not M&S, is it?
M&S. I was
No,
just
but
gonna say.
M&S do it well, and McDonald's is
And
just.
to be honest,
no.
chocolatey banoffee pie doesn't sound too festive,
It sounds good though.
as
does
opposed to
sound good.
festive
Does
pie,
sound good.
which just sound
Yeah.
vaguely festive.
Was the festive
I
pie
don't know.
like traditional?
I think it was like an apple and cinnamon pie or of some
Oh,
description. Or
yeah.
maybe, I'm not too sure. Festive pie.
That's also very
Sounds
nice
like it.
tasting.
Next one is to do with a company who last year had a big controversy with around Christmas time, and it's Starbucks. Now, last year, Starbucks didn't have any Christmas branding on their cups. They were plain red, and they didn't even say Christmas or anything on them, and they caused a big thing because people were saying they're killing Christmas, they're not supporting Christmas.
Bet you were cheering them on, weren't you?
No.
Outside.
The thing is, though, is that people were complaining it wasn't supporting Christmas, and we're arguing, they're killing Christmas, it's a disaster. But then, fail to recognise that we don't go and celebrate Chinese New Year with a different cup, or we don't go and celebrate Diwali with a new cup. So, to
What?
suggest that... What?
Diwali.
Yeah. What's that?
It's
Festival
the
of Lights.
Hindu
Is it?
festival.
Hindu,
Is it?
was it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But, like, people suggesting that not having this on a Christmas cup Anyway, that was last year's news. This year's news is that Donald Trump supporter went into Starbucks and was refused service because he was a Donald Trump supporter.
That's not right.
Not right.
Not right.
So he then decided to post on social media a big campaign, and it's picked up a lot of movement. It's called #TrumpCup, when it's basically you go into Starbucks, you say that your name is Trump, and then the Starbucks barista will write Trump on the cup, and then we'll shout out Trump when your drink's ready. And the idea is basically an anti-Starbucks, this is bad, discriminatory movement. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's a good thing. I mean, regardless of where someone's political stance is, that shouldn't mean that you don't get served in your coffee shop. I think it's certainly a bit extreme, but I quite like it. I think it's quite cool, Tom.
Yeah, I mean,
it's quite an interesting way of going about things, though, because they're technically giving money to Starbucks to protest against Starbucks.
Yeah, it's a weird one, and I think obviously from their point of view, they think, oh, this is amazing. Like, we thought of this ingenious plan. I kind of can understand though the Starbucks person behind the counter not being best pleased with the person if they say they support Trump and whatever, but obviously you can't discriminate. Like, people have different political views, and you do have to still respect it.
And from Starbucks' point of view, all news is good news. So this whole thing,
it's just
going
advertising.
around, everyone's like, oh.
Taxes, then it's probably not good news for Starbucks.
Apart from that, that was an obvious one, wasn't it? That's not good. But that one is.
Again, as I said before, that annoys me a lot.
Most news is good news. Yes. Thanks for that clarification.
But yeah, Starbucks have responded to this protest by clarifying that it doesn't actually require them to write names on the cups or shout out the names of the customer. They've said that over the years, writing customer names on cups and calling out their names has been a fun ritual in our stores. Rarely has it been abused or taken advantage of, and we hope and trust that our customers will continue to honour that tradition. But it is one of those interesting ones where, it started off with something so minor where this one person, I mean, it's not minor in the sense of discrimination, but one person has then posted on social media. It's gathered so much traction. I think his tweet got about 8,000 retweets. Thousands of people have been doing this, and I think if the VT system is working, we have got a picture to put up of just some of the people who have been doing this. Yeah. It's interesting though. Okay, question time. Not political question time, just a general fun question time. A honey bun was bought during the last couple of weeks. Which famous iconic film character did it appear to look like? Think of the shape of a honey bun, the different pattern, like the swirls or whatever on the top of it, the holes it got.
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
I don't know why, but for some reason that name sort of sticks in my head. It's probably for something completely different, but I'm absolutely.
If I give you a clue that it's not a human character, it's an animated character.
Oh right, well that would have made life a bit easier.
Garfield?
No. If I was to say honey bun, go home, phone home even.
E.T.
E.T. So Danielle York, 37 years old, from Manchester, not in England, from New Hampshire, Manchester. She bought a honey bun at Walmart, and it looks like E.T. So there has been basically she posted the picture online, and a series of funny edits have come out. It's been featured on a T-shirt. There's also a picture which has it photoshopped onto E.T.'s body. That's one of those little funny little things I picked up on when I was looking for some news stories this week.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen any kind of strange food that looks like people?
I've seen strange food that looks like certain parts of the body, but we won't delve into that.
You must have seen that piece of toast that has Jesus on it.
Oh, I have seen that.
Yeah,
I have seen that.
seen
Yeah.
that one.
Was it? I think it was an overdone one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like kind of burnt, there was a bit of light in the middle, and it like Jesus.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any
Jesus
food. I mean, no, I think I've seen that on the internet, but I haven't seen any food particularly that looks like people. But I think you can find, if I was looking, I think I could probably find some shapes or you can always find some sort of symbolism somewhere.
Yeah. It's like with clouds and stars.
And trees sometimes with the way they're formed. Quite cool.
Yeah, there you go. Here's the image of
Ew.
E.T.
What's that, Gail Platt? Oh.
I can see the ET.
There's the E.T.
Oh.
Yeah, I can see why.
It looks
I
quite
think
funny,
that.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Staying on the topic of food, we've had a lot of food stories this week, but another one, which I thought was quite interesting. Food scientists at the Oxford University, University of Oxford, have found that they can alter the sensation of creaminess in a piece of chocolate just by playing different sounds as people eat the
Oh,
chocolate.
that's interesting.
That's cool.
I would
That's
like
cool.
to try that. I'd like to try
Trial
different
it.
sounds
Yeah.
and see if it works on
Yeah.
me.
Well, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I would just echo what Tom said. It sounds like a really cool
Yeah.
kind of creamy experiment.
Yeah. Well, a series of soft flute notes could make a piece of dark chocolate taste more creamy, while short, sharp notes plucked on a violin can make the same chocolate taste sharper or bitter. But interesting.
That unison.
Yeah, no, I thought we were trying to play to the cream.
But yeah, some interesting applications they're coming up with, because the researchers are now working with a consortium of chocolatiers in Belgium to produce a box of confectionery that's been tailored to a specific sound. So while you're eating the chocolate, you play a certain sound or a certain piece of music, and it alters your experience while you're eating the chocolate. So whether that's applied to other foods more than just chocolate.
How does that work, though?
It's probably the psychology of things.
The psychology of things. I was going to say, does the cream sort of feel a sense of...
Well, I think the softer notes.
Yeah, I think it is just psychological, isn't it?
Yeah.
It makes kind of sense. The sharper notes, you'll get that sudden jolt, and maybe that reflects in the sharpness of the chocolate.
That was well explained.
Well,
Was it really?
it was, because Professor Charles Spence, who's an experimental food psychologist at the University of Oxford, who led the study, and he said that it seems we find it difficult to keep our experiences separated. Like all the senses are interconnected, or sight,
Isn't that
smell.
like synesthesia in literature, when you combine all the senses and through language, and it evokes a certain feeling? You're an English student, aren't you?
I've never heard that term before.
Maybe I've got it wrong.
Synesthesia.
Well, yeah.
I'll
pronounce
Google
it.
it. Google.
Yeah.
We'll Google it.
We'll Google it. He says, what we feel about one thing carries over to influence what we think about others we experience at the same time.
No, it
makes sense.
It does make sense, because if something happens in your life and you're feeling a certain emotion, that often that feeling like portrays onto the thing, and you'll remember that incident you're doing with the emotion you feel. Like, things do connect how different, and often people say if they listen to a certain music, when something happens, they'll associate that music with that
moment.
event.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, next one. Do you guys remember the dress?
Oh,
What,
the
the black-
coloured
the
dress.
dress.
The coloured
Yeah.
dress. Was
We
it
have
blue or gold, was it?
Yellow.
Yeah.
Yellow or gold?
We've got a picture, and we kind of
something.
need this one. Here we go. It's flip-flops. What
black.
colour do
Oh,
you see?
black
Instant
and blue.
reaction.
Black and blue.
Grey and blue.
Grey and blue.
Oh, okay, maybe grey and blue, but
I saw black and blue when I first saw
Grey
this.
and blue. Do you,
But
silver and blue, I think. Grey, silvery, isn't it? Silvery, grey, blue. Silver, blue.
no, I'm not feeling that silver.
Blue.
I think I would like to say grey and blue.
I'll say silver and blue.
I'll say
the
grey and
actual
blue.
colour is blue and dark blue.
What?
Yeah, you can't really tell from this.
I think
but
it's a bit
this
distorted,
bit,
isn't it?
This bit here, I think it's to do with the lighting on this particular image. I don't think it's a very good image of what it's
No.
trying to show. But yeah, blue and dark blue.
Is that official? Or is that based on what?
That's what the company has said.
Oh, okay.
And there is actually a picture. I'm not sure if it's on here or not, but of the actual flip flops, just as a generic stock image of just this is the product, and you can clearly tell.
Yeah.
You can clearly tell that it is blue and dark blue.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's to do with colour constancy, which is how human brains adjust the way colours are perceived, depending on the context in which they're being viewed. But yeah, it's quite an interesting topic. If you're into physics or anything like that, it's definitely worth looking into. But it is like, but I kind of do see, like, if this was kind of a bad lighting and this was, this was white. Imagine this as being white. It does look kind of browny goldy in my eyes if I view that as in a bad light in situation.
I remember when this happened last time though, and there was a big craze for about a week, and everyone got really excited. Then the next week, everyone thought, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
can we move on?"
Yeah.
Yeah. But
speaking of move on, let's move on to the next topic.
good link back.
You know what? I'll let you guys pick the next one. So pick a number between 1 and 3, and we shall.
As a duo.
Just pick a number between 1 or 3.
1 because we're number 1.
Okay.
Oh, Tom. Well, I
Poetic.
am. I
Oh,
am.
okay. I'm not. Am I number 2?
You're
then?
number 2.
Okay.
Sorry.
So we're going for number 2. We're going for number 1.
Number 1.
Number 1. Okay. This is the plans. A cross-party group of MPs.
Number 2.
A cross-party group of MPs has said that Britain should follow America's lead and legalise cannabis.
Oh, right. That's not bad actually.
And they say it would bring in about $1 billion a year in tax revenues. This is coming off, obviously, after the fact that this month's American election saw 2 further states legalise cannabis. And a group of MP small parties, led by former Deputy Prime Minister Nick Clegg and former Health Minister Norman Lamb, says we should follow suit. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I think it's a long overdue thing, actually, the legalisation of cannabis, certainly for medicinal use, because there's lots of people in pain who can't get the correct medicine and whatnot available to them, and it genuinely does help them and makes their life a lot easier. The only downside, obviously, to that is you're going to have people who want to take advantage, people who probably get addicted for the wrong reasons. And we need to find ways to control that. But I think certainly we need to introduce it because...
But
it's
the
the argument.
argument.
Other countries have done so.
Yeah,
Lots of other
and
countries
it's the
have done it,
argument if we do legalise it, it will be easier to control. And it will be safer.
True.
And that argument, which obviously I'm probably I'm in favour for. If it's fairly, if it's safe, because I mean, alcohol's the worst drug, isn't it? But that's legal because it's cultural. So
tobacco.
I don't know. I think if it's safe enough and it helps people, then I think I'm all for it being legalised.
Well, the MPs are definitely the MPs that group of MPs have backed it. They've backed an Adam Smith Institute and Voltaface study, which argues that Britain's dark age drugs policy has failed to stop drugs being manufactured and used.
It's true.
And if you in legalising it, it would also stop all the associated crime, corruption, and deaths that are caused, not just through
use of it,
but also deaths in terms of drug gangs and wider crime circles.
Yeah,
so
true.
That's I think that's what I was alluding to before. It's just if they legalise it, there will be benefits to it because they'll control it more.
They say that a legal cannabis market could be worth £6.8 billion to the economy annually, potentially netting between 750 million and 1.05 billion in tax revenues, and it would also reduce the criminal justice costs. Not to mention the number of offenders in prison for cannabis-related offences in England and Wales would also drop from 1,363, who cost taxpayers £50 million a year, according to the report. So a lot of money would be saved, a lot of people wouldn't be in prison, and maybe we'd have a more open approach in terms of our mindsets towards people who use, distribute, etc. Because, like it says, it's costing a lot of money to house the offenders, and on the flip side, if you legalise it, you don't have to pay for that, and you make more money. So, win-win?
Potentially, if it's managed correctly, as other countries have shown. They've managed to do it. I think there's a lot of ethical issues certainly in Britain. I think not to delve too much into a different topic, but euthanasia being another one, perhaps, which we could look into. But certainly as far as cannabis is concerned, I think I would say win-win. A few drawbacks, but I think if they manage correctly, then it's only a positive thing to do that.
Nick Clegg said British politicians need to open their eyes to what is happening in the rest of the world.
I think he's right.
I think that's a good point.
And Conservative MP as well, Michael Fabricant, said there can be no doubt that just as prohibition in the sale of alcohol failed in the United States and encouraged gangsterism, the banning of drugs has promoted a wicked and lucrative black market which pushes illegal drugs on the innocent.
It's very true.
So
I completely agree.
Interesting to see where this goes in the next couple of months or maybe a year or so. Obviously, Lib Dems have been heavily pushing the legalisation of cannabis for for some time now. So interesting to see if that actually does occur.
But they've,
or not.
ousted from their influence over the last few years.
There's 2 more stories left then. So 2 or 3. Any idea? Any preference?
Shall we carry on chronologically?
Yeah.
Chronologically, okay.
2.
So this is the news that there's going to be there's plans to go through the procedure for a head transplant. Professor Sergio Canavero, an Italian neurosurgeon, has moved a step closer to his goal of transplanting a human head.
I think I heard about this.
He's revealed a virtual reality system that will prepare patients for life in a new body, and he wants to carry out the operation for the first time next year, saying it could help those paralysed from the neck down to walk again.
Amazing.
Would this new body be a created body, or will it be a human body of someone that's died?
I'd assume human,
I'm not too sure.
but I suppose they could fabricate it, couldn't they? The possibilities are endless as far as that's concerned. Certainly shows how far we're making strides in science. If that can happen, I was thinking, if you wanted it cosmetically, could you get your face removed and replaced with someone else's? I'm thinking Face Off here. Has anyone seen Face Off?
I'm thinking that.
No.
Are you saying that because you need a new face? Do you?
No, I was saying it for you, mate. But no, I was saying I'm a loving, caring person. But no, I just thought that's maybe one route. But yeah, certainly as far as you're concerned, with what that's an amazing thing. Obviously, when you're paralysed, it's such a terrible thing to live with.
You couldn't really imagine it.
You can't. No, certainly not as you are now, living without a care in the world. Then suddenly you can't do so many things that you took for granted before. To get that, it would be shocking. And things like this offer an escape route, offer a better alternative than what many would argue as a life of despair.
And like you said before with euthanasia,
maybe
this, instead of euthanasia,
it's an excellent alternative. Because as well, you've seen documentaries, and I think it's been on soaps before as well in the past, about people who are paralysed who feel that their only escape from that situation is euthanasia. And obviously that's an argument for that. But when you've got things like this and developments in science, then that can combat wanting euthanasia.
Well, Valery Spiridonov, I'm not very good at reading Russian names, as you could probably tell from the last episode when I read out a Russian engineer's name. But anyway, he's a Russian man with a genetic muscle wasting disease, and he's volunteered to be the first patient. The concern, this simulation that they've come up with, this system, it's basically it simulates being in someone else's body. I'm not sure how it works. It must be very technologically advanced. We're getting that way, definitely. It's basically to prevent unexpected psychological reactions, because obviously if you've never been in that body before, your brain might experience some
difficulties,
traumatic, psychological reactions, effects. There's been a custom-made blade for this that can control cuts to a micrometer, which is 1/1,000,000th of a meter, and that allows the precision required to cut the spinal cord. And it will allow a clear cut of the spinal cord with a minimal impact on nerves. Scary things when you think about it, but in terms of the benefits, what this man will get from it if it's successful, would be amazing. It's not just for him, but in terms of scientific development and looking to the future.
It just makes me cringe how you describe that, but it does. No, but 100%, the amazing potential, amazing benefits potentially from it. Brilliant.
So all of these stories are true that we talk about on this show.
Well, I hope they are.
Yeah. But this one, out of all the things I've talked about on the show, is probably the just craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Crazier than your vegan journey? Crazier than that?
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
This is the fact that a completely made up person who's been chosen as the second most widely recognised Welsh representative of the European Parliament.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Do you actually want me to repeat that?
No, carry on.
A study shows that fictitious Elwyn Davis came after UKIP MEP Nathan Hill in name recognition. I mean, ultimately it's just down to people guessing at names of a list, but it's crazy that people don't know about the politicians that are representing them. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean it's reflecting society nowadays, isn't it? Like we're becoming more and more disillusioned with. I mean, maybe recently politics has become more of an interest, especially for younger people who have thus before been very disillusioned with it. But in general, people are disillusioned with politics, and it is a shame, because if we all knew our political system better, we would have better control over it. And if we knew the MPs, we could vote with our true feelings, and we wouldn't find ourselves in situations where we have people in power that we don't want, which people then complain and say, oh, I didn't want them. Well, yeah, because you didn't vote.
I think certainly, well, I think if you ask lots of young people today who their local MP is, who's your local MP, Tom? From back home.
From back home?
Yeah.
Oh, I actually know this.
Who's your local MP, JL, from back home?
I don't know, it's crazy.
There you go, your point's proven. The presenter's a hypocrite, but
I'm
no.
I'm just suggesting it's crazy that nobody knows who represents
No,
them.
I do think it is, yeah, just to, it is
I know
mental.
I know the one from I know the Labour MP from where I went to school. If that's any use.
What's it? What is their name?
Kate Green.
Okay. Kate Green.
But
Andrew Stevenson. Just a plug there for
to
you,
be
Andrew.
fair, one of my local MPs, I only found out a few weeks ago, is a famous celebrity from some band or something.
And what's the name of them?
I don't know.
Oh, right. Very famous.
Good story,
very
yeah.
famous.
But yeah, no. But when you think about it, and I'm sat here as a presenter of this show, telling you guys that, this Welsh MEP has been ranked second in the most recognised names, and he's not even a real person.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't know who the fictitious character is. So.
He came in this survey. He came ahead of his real life elected colleagues Jill Evans, Derek Vaughan, and Kay Swinburne. And you just think it's so bad and such a reflection of our political system and politics as a whole in our country that nobody knows who's representing them.
Yeah,
you know the big names. You know your Theresa Mays and your Nigel Farages and your Jeremy Corbyns, but locally and effectively, you're voting in your local elections. That's what's going to make the difference ultimately, and nobody seems to know.
No, it's a problem in general. I think with politics, in terms of young people, that there's a lot of people who just don't seem to care. Whether that's passed down from the family who say, "Oh, these politicians, they do this, they do this, they do this." But as you say, at the end of the day, it's a really important topic, and we really do need to get them involved. I mean, from our area, when it came to Brexit votes, I think it was something like 65% of young people didn't actually vote at all, really, which is a damning statistic. Yeah, because I don't know, maybe they don't feel in touch with their politicians. I don't know. I think they could do something about that. Certainly themselves, as young people, we could do that. Maybe as well, people could promote politics a bit more. Maybe in schools, for example, maybe have a politics lesson.
Yeah.
Maybe keep it compulsory.
Well, that's what I've said for a long time, is that with politics, economics, not economics in terms of global economics, but in terms of
basic economics,
in terms of like your household budget, keeping a budget, and even foreign languages and things like that. It's crazy that we don't have this implemented from a much younger age. I feel
exactly, from a younger age is the key point. We should. I mean, there'd be no harm in having a little lesson, every so often about all this stuff from primary school to secondary school. I mean, I did economics. I did economics and politics actually for A-level, but apart from that, like, never done anything like that in school.
And it's completely new to that point, and you have to learn a lot of it. And I'm not saying that we should be going around taking around the Conservative and the Labour manifestos around to primary schools and whacking them on the head and saying, learn this. You must, you need to learn about
just
what
some basic information would be
but
beneficial.
Just even, like, I didn't know until coming up to the end of my GCSEs, beginning of A-levels, how the complete political system worked in this country. Like, how it actually physically works. What the House of Commons is, what the House of Lords is, what Parliament is. And you think that people, and it's bad though, because we saw with the general election that the Conservative Party and a lot of other parties were suggesting that young people don't know enough about politics to vote in the general elections because they haven't been taught about them in the education system.
Yeah, there needs to be a gap filled, certainly, in that respect. And as Tom said, I think the key is early age, because when you're taught at an early age, it sort of becomes integral, and you sort of you pick it up, you understand.
Yeah.
When you're doing it in later life, often it's, I can't be bothered learning this, I don't want to learn this, I've got too much on. So get it in place in the system at secondary schools, maybe even in primary schools, just the basics, just the basic stuff.
Like, this is how much things cost, this is how much money you've got, work out what you've got, how much you've got left to spend.
Yeah.
And maybe we won't be seeing kids spending £50 a week on match attacks.
I mean, to be fair, there's some adults who can't work out that kind of thing.
But all adults were children at one point.
That is a very good point.
So,
of course they were.
Embed it from an early age.
Yeah, but there's problems for them now. I mean, what do we do for those people? We might have to set up classes or something like that. But
maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I think we had a lovely chat today. A lot of top.
We had a chat.
A lot of controversial talk.
It was a good chat.
Definitely worth having today. Nice to see Johnny and Tom with us again here on LA101. But yeah, until next week, I've been JL. Thank you for watching.